Welcome back to Hydrohaven, fellow garden enthusiasts. Today, I'm thrilled to share with you one of gardening's best-kept secrets, how to create incredibly potent compost in just 2 weeks instead of the usual months-long process. This method has transformed my garden's productivity, and I'm confident it will do the same for yours. So let's dig in and uncover the accelerated composting method that's been changing the game for gardeners in the know. Traditional composting typically takes anywhere from 3 to 6 months to produce usable results, but who wants to wait that long when your plants are hungry now? The 14-day method I'm about to share relies on optimizing the decomposition process through perfect balance of materials, proper aeration, moisture control, and our secret weapon, a natural nitrogen booster that catalyzes the entire process. The science behind rapid composting is fascinating. Essentially, we're creating the ideal environment for beneficial microorganisms to work at their maximum efficiency. These microscopic decomposers break down organic matter into plant-available nutrients, and when given the perfect conditions, they can work remarkably fast. The process generates heat naturally, which further accelerates decomposition and helps kill weed seeds and pathogens. For this supercharged compost, you'll need a thoughtful blend of green and brown materials. Greens provide nitrogen while browns provide carbon, both essential elements in the composting process. For greens, collect kitchen scraps, excluding meat, dairy, and oily foods. Fresh grass clippings, coffee grounds, and young weeds without seeds are also great options. For browns, gather fallen leaves, small twigs, shredded paper or cardboard, straw, and sawdust from untreated wood. The quality of your inputs directly affects the quality of your finished compost. Chop or shred materials into smaller pieces whenever possible, as this increases surface area and speeds decomposition. A good pair of garden shears or a shredder can be invaluable here. Remember that diversity in materials leads to nutrient-rich compost, so incorporate as many different organic materials as you can find. Now for the game-changing secret rabbit urine is nature's composting accelerator. This overlooked resource is absolutely packed with nitrogen, even more concentrated than chicken manure, and contains beneficial bacteria that jumpstart the decomposition process. The urine's high ammonia content raises the temperature of your compost pile rapidly, breaking down materials in days rather than weeks or months. If you keep rabbits, collecting their urine is straightforward. Place a collection tray beneath their hutch or line the bottom of their cage with absorbent materials that can be added directly to your compost. Don't worry if you don't raise rabbits yourself. Many rabbit breeders and small animal farms are happy to provide this resource, often for free or at minimal cost. You might be surprised how readily available this powerful composting accelerant is once you start asking around in agricultural communities. The container you use matters significantly. While traditional compost piles work, a dedicated bin allows for better heat retention and moisture control. For this 14-day method, I recommend either a tumbler-style composter for easy turning, or a 3-bin system that allows for efficient management of different stages. Ensure your container has adequate ventilation through small holes or gaps, as oxygen is crucial for aerobic decomposition. Choose a location that receives partial sunlight, enough to help generate heat but not so much that it dries out the pile. Place your bin on bare soil rather than concrete or asphalt to allow beneficial organisms from the ground to migrate upward into your compost. Begin with a 4-inch layer of coarse browns like small branches or cardboard pieces to create drainage and airflow at the base. Next, add a 3-inch layer of nitrogen-rich greens. Here comes the magic lightly sprinkle rabbit urine over the green layer, about 2 cups per cubic foot of material. This supercharges bacterial activity from the very beginning. Continue alternating layers of browns, greens, and rabbit urine accelerator until your bin is full. The ideal carbon to nitrogen ratio for rapid composting is around 25 to 1. With the addition of rabbit urine as our secret accelerator, we're boosting the available nitrogen and beneficial microbes, effectively optimizing this ratio without complex calculations. The concentrated nitrogen in rabbit urine helps break down even tough carbon materials like small twigs and cardboard surprisingly quickly. For 14-day compost, temperature monitoring becomes crucial. Use a compost thermometer to track internal temperatures, which should rise to 130 to 150 degrees Fahrenheit within the first 48 to 72 hours, a sign that beneficial bacteria are hard at work. The rabbit urine accelerator helps achieve these temperatures faster than conventional methods. If temperatures exceed 160 degrees Fahrenheit, turn the pile to release excess heat. If they don't reach 130 degrees, add more greens or a bit more rabbit urine solution. Proper moisture is equally important. Your compost should feel like a wrung-out sponge. Too dry and decomposition slows, too wet, and you risk anaerobic conditions that create odors and slow the process. The urine adds moisture along with nutrients, but you may need to add water or dry materials to maintain the ideal dampness. When properly balanced, your compost pile should smell earthy, not foul or ammonia-like. Unlike conventional composting that requires turning every few weeks, the 14-day method demands daily attention. Turn your compost thoroughly each day for the first week, then every other day during the second week. This frequent turning incorporates oxygen, redistributes moisture, and ensures all materials are exposed to the high-temperature core of the pile where decomposition happens fastest. When turning, pay attention to how the pile is developing. The material should become increasingly unrecognizable as days pass, transforming into a homogeneous dark mass. The rabbit urine accelerator makes this transformation particularly dramatic, with visible changes occurring daily rather than weekly. Even with our accelerated method, occasional challenges arise. If your compost develops a strong ammonia smell, you've likely added too much rabbit urine or other nitrogen sources. Incorporate more brown materials to restore balance. If the pile isn't heating up properly, check moisture levels and consider adding more greens or a small additional amount of the rabbit urine accelerator. White, thread-like fungi are beneficial and indicate healthy decomposition. However, if your compost develops slimy textures or putrid odors, it's likely too wet and possibly turning anaerobic. Add more browns, turn thoroughly to incorporate oxygen, and consider creating larger air channels through the center of the pile with a compost aerator tool. After 2 weeks of diligent management, your compost should be dark brown, crumbly, and earthy smelling, with few recognizable original materials. It may be slightly coarser than slow-processed compost, which is perfect for garden application. For seed starting or potting mixes, consider sifting through a half-inch screen to remove any larger particles which can go back into your next batch. This rapid compost is incredibly nutrient-dense. Use it at about half the volume you would with conventional compost. A little goes a long way. Work 1 to 2 inches into garden soil before planting. Use as a half-inch top dressing for established plants, or make compost tea by steeping in water for an all-natural liquid fertilizer that plants absolutely love. To maintain a steady supply of this garden gold, consider setting up a rotation system. As one batch finishes its 14-day cycle, have another ready to begin. This approach provides a continuous harvest of nutrient-rich compost throughout the growing season, eliminating the need for store-bought fertilizers and closing the loop in your garden's ecosystem. Save some of your finished compost to inoculate new batches with beneficial microorganisms. This starter compost further accelerates the process with each successive batch, potentially reducing even the 14-day time frame as your microbial community becomes more established and efficient. This rapid composting method using rabbit urine as a natural accelerator revolutionizes how quickly you can create organic matter for your garden. The process not only speeds up nature's recycling system, but actually produces a more microbially diverse end product because of the beneficial bacteria introduced through the rabbit urine. Remember that healthy soil creates healthy plants, which in turn nourish healthy humans. By creating your own supercharged compost, you're taking control of your garden's fertility cycle and reducing dependence on external inputs. If you've enjoyed learning about this accelerated composting technique, please subscribe to Hydrohaven for more garden transforming insights and share this video with fellow gardeners who might benefit from faster, more potent compost. Happy composting, and I'll see you in the next video.